This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. We spend a half hour every week talking about good things going on in the community. Katie Huckle is off this week. Our sponsor is Independent Bank for this here program. And we've got a couple of ladies from Project Christmas with us this morning. Kim Benz and Carol Corwin are here with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is a massive charity undertaking every year. I've been in Cadillac. This is my 15th year now, and in, year out, what this community does to come together to make Project Christmas happen is just, it's heartwarming. It shows the spirit of Cadillac, I think. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely, Rick. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about this year's event and maybe get a little history. So we'll get to the history in a second, but Project Christmas happening when?
So it's happening Saturday, December 10th.
Okay.
We're in our 34th year. We'll be holding the event at the Wexford Civic Arena.
And the signups just began a few days ago, right?
Yes, we started registering clients on Monday, the 17th. We're registering Wexford and Missaukee County residents. They can call, and if they meet the income requirements, then we'll get them set up and scheduled a time.
So in order for folks to be able to qualify, there is some proof that they have to show. What kind of things do they have to show?
Well, they have to come with their Social Security numbers for all of the people in their home, sources of income, and supervisors' names if they're employed. And then if they're an MDHHS client, they need to bring their client number if they have one.
Okay. So where does all this money to buy these things and collect these things, where does that come from?
Well, most of our donors are private people that live in our community that want to help out those in need at Christmas time. We do have a lot of financial support as well from our business community, the manufacturing companies, the retail stores. We're also supported by Meijer stores as well as Consumers Energy. Those are two very big commercial contributors. Now, we do partner with the Salvation Army, and they supply a lot of support through the Toys for Tots program. So if you see the Toys for Tots boxes out right now, many of those products will make it to Project Christmas this year.
Okay, so Toys for Tots and Project Christmas are kind of work together.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not a separate thing. It's you guys are together.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about let's go back and get a little history of this, because 34 years this has been going on, and it's just an amazing thing, isn't it?
It really is. If you've never been to the event, it is truly life-changing, I'll almost say.
Carol, how many have you been a part of?
Well, this is only my 6th year.
Okay.
But I've supported it from the business community for several years, probably over 30 years we've contributed to from the organization that I work for. So, but yeah, it just started out with 5 women meeting over coffee about 34 years ago, and wanted to do something to help out families who are in need at Christmas time.
And you can tell us the organization that you work for. That's perfectly fine.
I can give them a little plug.
You sure can.
Well, hey, I work at Family Practice of Cadillac, and I've been there proudly for 32 years. We have a great healthcare office, and so if you're in need of a new physician, you can look us up.
There you go. All right. Kim, how about your employer?
I work for Michigan Works, and I'm in the Cadillac Area Public Schools. And they are also big supporters of Project Christmas. So our students volunteer at the event. They help with setup, tear down. They're human shopping cart people on Saturdays of the event. So they help the people bring out their items to their cars and also help them shop. So
you're having students who are involved in this, and they're kind of getting an eye-opening experience, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Okay, tell me how rewarding it is to be a part of that.
It's rewarding to see our students giving back to our community, being involved in the community. It's always helpful to show the students that there are people in need in the community, and they can help in their own way.
And I think it's a good way. It's a good civics lesson, really, don't you think? I mean, to show them that, yeah, there are people out there who might have it worse than you do.
Exactly. Yes, it's so true. And a lot of our students are looking for community service hours. Some of them want to put volunteer hours on a resume when they get ready, or a college application. So this is a good opportunity for them to help out the community and also get their volunteer hours that they may need.
You work for Jobs for Michigan Graduates, right, Kim?
Yes, I do.
And tell me a little bit about that organization while we have you here.
Jobs for Michigan Graduates is a program that helps our students achieve success by making sure that they graduate from high school. And then it gives them an idea. We help them explore careers, what they may want to do once they leave high school, whether that's an apprenticeship program, or enrolling in college, or taking some sort of post-secondary training, trade school. We just take them everywhere and show them the possibilities that are available in the state of Michigan, and open their eyes to various careers.
As someone who is who works in the career technical center area too, I appreciate what you do. It's good stuff. It's rewarding work.
Thank you.
Speaking of rewarding work, let's get back to Project Christmas. So signups began a few days ago. Is there a deadline? Is that coming up? I mean, we got about, 6 more weeks left to sign up?
Yeah. Registration began October 17th, and it runs through December 2nd. For people living in Wexford County, they can call 231-779-5205 or 231-468-3204. Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 3:30. We also help people in Meskwaki County, and they can call 231-839-8816, Monday through Friday, 10 to 4.
Tell me about the human shopping aspect of Project Christmas. How that all comes in. For people who aren't familiar with this, how does it work?
Well, we usually have our volunteer registration page on our website. That's it. projectchristmaswexmiss.org. And they can go on there, and there's different categories that they can select if they're interested in volunteering. So we came up with this concept of the human shopping cart many years ago, and it was a way for the volunteers to interact more closely with the clients. They actually carry a bag around with them and help them carry their not purchases, but their gifts and items that they pick up at the event. And when COVID came along,
I was going to ask
that changed things.
I was going to ask that. Obviously, it changed how the event was staged, but it probably changed the need in the community too. But let's start from the how the event happened in the era of COVID, and then we'll move on to the other thing.
Yeah, so we were so disappointed and brokenhearted in 2020 when we had to cancel the event. But we were able to still carry on through partnership with Salvation Army, so we were still able to service families in that fashion. Then in 2021, we were able to get back in business, and we changed a lot of the floor plan and how our clients would move through the event to make it safer for not only for our volunteers, who many are retirees that may be more susceptible to viruses, and safe for our clients as well.
So there were some limitations and adjustments made in 2021.
Yes, we changed from human shopping carts to actual shopping carts that you use in your store, courtesy of Meyer.
So in 2022, have we returned to pre-pandemic, or are there still some things that are different?
Well, we're kind of in a modified version still.
Okay.
We are still looking for human shopping carts. However, they probably will not go with the client into the event. They'll be more servicing the client from the event building at the WEX to their car.
Okay.
So we need somebody with some good muscle, because some of these families are quite large and they have, they need that assistance to get to their vehicle.
So basically what you're saying is you need a lot of help. This requires a
Yes.
lot of volunteer help. So
Yes.
do you have maybe entire offices in town that get together and pool their resources and become a part of this, where there's like several people together working, or does it work?
Absolutely. We have businesses, we have church groups, we have school groups, sports teams. You name it, we usually have help from those groups, and we are so thankful for all of that help.
And there is a way to sign up online right now to do that if you're interested.
Yes, you can
Okay.
sign up online, or we also have the Project Christmas hotline. When you call, you will get me. And that number is 231-429-9214. So if they've got a group or an organization that wants to help out, that's probably the best route to go, so that we can assign that group a time and to come.
So are there time slots that are involved? Do you have broken it down by an hour or 2 or 3, or how does that work?
We usually give 2-hour time slots, as usually, unless somebody wants to do more than that. We always accept the help.
And the event is it's from when to when? What time is it?
Well, clients start arriving at 8 o'clock. That's when
Okay.
our first clients are scheduled. We do ask volunteers to be there about 15 minutes prior to that. If you're scheduled to work in, an 8 to 10 volunteer time slot. And then it goes really until we're done scheduling the clients.
Okay.
Some years we've been done, it could be 4 o'clock. Sometimes it's 1 o'clock. It just depends on the community's need. And
Speaking of the community's need, I want to go back to how COVID changed the need level in the community. Did it? Did it, in your experience? You've been doing it for 6 years, so I'm sure you've seen it fluctuate over the last 6 years. But yeah.
I would say there was a definite impact, but maybe not quite what you think.
Okay.
In 2021, our number of clients we registered did go down. I think we had just over the 800 mark, which is a little low. Because there were a lot of programs out there during COVID for assistance.
Okay.
And I think that people had other avenues that they could reach out to. But now many of those have ended. And so I predict we are going to have a higher number of people registering this year.
If you were to take a guess, if it was 800 last year, what are you thinking?
Well, we're planning for 900.
Okay.
But we always have enough. We'll go beyond that if the need is there. So
Okay.
the community always provides, which is so heartwarming.
So, Kim, what is your favorite part about being involved in Project Christmas?
Well, I think the Christmas, I love the Christmas season. I love to be a part of my community and projects that are in the community. And I think my favorite part of Project Christmas is the meeting the people that come through the line. And I usually hang out at the end of the line where the gift wrap section is, because that's where it's really fun. And I love to see what the moms or dads or the people have picked out for their kids and their families and the items. And they're so thankful. And there's times that you're actually, brought to tears when you are there at the event, working with the people, because some of them will tell you their stories. And they are just so grateful. I think that's my favorite part is that part of the line when they come through and get all their items wrapped and yeah.
How about you, Carol?
It's just the spirit of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It is very heartwarming to be able to share all of this with our community. Like Kim said, to hear their stories and, just to know that there's support out there for them. And I love Christmas, and my kids are all grown up, so this gives me something else to do.
So let's go back to the volunteer thing again, because obviously there's a need for volunteers in many areas. We talked about, the human shopping carts, but what other areas can people volunteer in? Are you looking for gift wrappers?
Yes,
Do you
there's
okay.
a gift wrap section. There are different tables of items that we need people to work at. So they might be at the book table or the toy table, or what other tables are there?
Oh, we have pajamas. We have
yeah.
hats and mittens. We have each age group has a table. So there's 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 13, and 14 to 18. So there's 4 different age tables, and each table has a chair person. So they work to arrange their volunteers. So that's where the hotline comes in if we need to, or the volunteer registration page on the website. And you can also put if there's an area that you're interested in volunteering, and we'll try to meet that.
So, and when we come to the end of the program, I'll have you give all those phone numbers and all that contact information again one more time. Well, this is a huge volunteer undertaking, and as I hear you talking about how everything is sorted out by age and by merchandise and things like that. So why don't we talk about the sorting process? There must be a ton of volunteers who are just sorting things out and making sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you've ever been to a store, you know how much merchandise is in a store. Well, we kind of mimic that in some ways. So when we also will have our drop boxes going out. It's November 7th, and you'll see those around town in our communities. And when those are filled, they are picked up, and so they are taken to a location where we have storage. And yes, everything has to be sorted. Everything has to be inventoried. So we have to apply a value to each item that's in those drop boxes. And then as they're sorted, we have lots of volunteers at the WEX prior to the event that are putting those items in the areas that they're designated. So there's food, there's, household items, there's pajamas, and all kinds of children's toys. So once those are to the areas, then they have to, of course, sort them. And we do mark off the barcodes so that the items cannot be returned to the store for a refund.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does. So we've talked about merchandise and clothing and things like that, but the food. Let's cover the food aspect of it. Tell me a little about how that all comes together.
Well, we are so fortunate to partner with Meijer, and they really help us out a lot in the food department. They also make a considerable cash donation to this event. So if you have to pick between a store to shop at, I have to give Meijer a little plug because they are huge community supporters, and not only here, but in every community that they are in. Mm-hmm. So then we also get lots of food in the drop boxes. Lots of that comes in. You can't even imagine it until you see it and experience it, how much work goes into sorting the food. Because when we give out a food bag, it's based on size of family. And our families can range from one person all the way up to 10 or more. Mm-hmm. And so we want to make sure that in those bags, there's a good variety of food, good proteins. We also give out, this year it'll be a ham. They'll get a bag of potatoes. They will also get a bag of apples along with all of the canned products that they'll receive.
So, and I was just going to ask that. So when the drop boxes go out here in the next few weeks, next couple of weeks, what foods are you looking for to be put in there?
Well, our number one this year is peanut butter because it is so hard to find and it's an excellent source of protein. So that's going to be number one. But anything that's non-perishable, canned goods, boxed pastas, cereal is a huge one too, that we really appreciate the most.
Okay. So pre-setup. We didn't talk about that, Kim. Let's talk about what goes into getting the WEX ready to service hundreds and hundreds of local folks.
Well, we have volunteers that go into the WEX and they section off each area so that when our volunteers come in to work at their table, they know where their product needs to go and where they need to be. So the whole arena is sectioned and taped off. And then on the day of the event, we have a lot of volunteers in the community and in the schools bring their students in to help with manpower, actually physically setting up those long banquet tables, hauling bags of food or stuffing bags of food and getting them ready for them to be delivered, because they do deliver to shut-ins. So we need a lot of young, healthy people that are really strong that can help with that kind of stuff.
Bring your muscles and your strong back.
So
right?
yeah, we love the football team to come. We love the athletics. The Honor Society has been there. So we've had we have kids from Innovation come, from Manton School. They're really good at getting their groups of kids to come in on Friday and set up. And then, like I said before, if they want to work the event, they can volunteer on Saturday with teardown.
That's the part everybody forgets about, right?
Yeah. Everybody, nobody wants to stay for teardown. So we always need help there too.
Yeah, Carol.
I'd also like to mention that we partner with WEX Express to do deliveries to the single families and families without children that register. So we will deliver the food, and they'll, instead of getting coming in and picking out a household gift like a toaster or a coffee maker or that type of thing, we purchase gift cards from Meijer so that they can go in and purchase that item themselves. So that's been a new service since COVID came around too, that just helps limit the number of people we have inside the WEX on Saturday.
Is that something that you think will continue in years to come?
I think it will. We've got a very nice partnership with WEX Express, and they do a really great job for us.
There are some things that happened with COVID that didn't happen pre-COVID that have continued, that actually we seem to realize, well, that was kind of a good idea. Let's just keep up with that,
Exactly.
So let's kind of circle back around for the date of the event and how folks can volunteer and how folks who are in need can get in contact with Project Christmas. This is a lot of information, so I'm asking everyone to get out something to write with, because we're going to throw a lot of information at you here in the next couple of minutes. So where should we start? Should we start with the volunteer effort?
Sure, we can start there. So if you'd like to volunteer for Project Christmas, the best route to go is to our website, www.projectchristmas.org. And there's a volunteer page there where you can register, and you can choose a category, or you can also free text whatever your interest is to volunteer. And there's also our Project Christmas hotline that you can contact if you have a group that you would like to register for volunteer. And that hotline is 231-429-9214.
And that is you.
That is me. I will be answering that phone.
Fantastic. All right. Now, for folks who want to sign up, sign-ups continue through December 2nd. Obviously, you need that 8 days to kind of figure out what the need is and get that all organized. And I'm sure that is a pretty intense 8 or 9 days between the end of signups and the event itself. You're nodding your head, yes?
Oh, yes. And what was it? Was it President Reagan that passed away when it was they had closed the post office?
Oh.
During our window of sending out the registration letters?
Okay.
Oh, that was a year. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Crunch time.
Well, we'll hope the living president survive between the December 2nd and the 10th. So the phone number for the signups for those who are in need.
All right. So for residents in Wexford County, they can call 231-779-5205 or 231-468-3204. And they can call between Monday and Friday between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. For Missaukee County residents, they may call 231-839-8816. Monday through Friday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. They should bring their Social Security numbers for all those in the home, sources of income and their supervisor names, and a client number if they are a client of MDHHS.
So it's almost time. It's time now to sign up. Saturday, December 10th is the big day. And here we go again, right?
That's right.
And
we'll
then-
be here for another 34 years.
And then December 11th, you'll start thinking about next year's.
Yes, that's one thing.
Maybe you'll take a couple of days off.
Yeah. That's one thing people don't realize is this is a year-round prepping process as big as this is. I just like to give a big shout out to our 13-member board who works year-round on this, and to our 40-plus volunteers on our planning committee that also put their heart and soul into this all year round. So great job to them.
Well, great job to you too as well. Thanks for coming in this morning. We appreciate hearing the Project Christmas story. And for those who want to volunteer, you know how. And for those who need the assistance in Project Christmas this year, you know how to do that too. Carol Corwin and Kim Benz from Project Christmas. Thanks, ladies, for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by Independent Bank, and we'll do it again next week with more local talk here on 107.9 CDY.